Hey guys, welcome to Jeff's Computer Lab. Today we're working with the K6-2 PC. Gonna run some benchmarks, have a good baseline before we start swapping out any parts. One of the first things I did with this computer was run 3D Mark 99, and I had those test results from before. So after I installed all the fans, I went ahead and ran 3D Mark again and was getting about a 30% lower score. After looking around and trying to figure out what had happened, it turned out it was the USB 2.0 PCI card that I installed was hogging up the bandwidth on the PCI lane and competing with the graphics card. So when I pulled that out, ran the tests again, was getting the same results as before. So that's going to be our baseline. Ran all the tests without that in there, and that's just going to have to be how it is for now. If later down the road I get an AGP graphics card, we should be able to install the USB 2.0 card back in, but for now I'm just going to leave it out. So unlike modern computers, every single card that you put into the PCI bus just kind of clogs up the PCI lanes. So I have to choose faster transfer rates or better graphics performance. So I ended up pulling this out. Don't really need to be transferring a bunch of stuff at the moment anyway. Okay, so here we are in CPU-Z. You can see we have our K6-2 socket 7 CPU. The front side bus is at 100 megahertz with a 4x multiplier giving the CPU 400 megahertz. You can see there is 512 kilobytes of level 2 cache. I have a K6-2 Plus that has on-die level 2 cache, which when we go ahead and install that, that will move this 512 into level 3 cache, which should really boost the ratings of this. I'm going to go ahead and run a bench for this in here on CPU-Z. It's really quick, but the only option they have is the K6-2 500, and we're running a K6-2 400. So this is basically the results we should expect, because that's about a 20% speed increase between the two, which is about what we're seeing here. So after I run all the benchmarks, I'm gonna maybe try to see if we can overclock this, and if we can get to 500, we should be able to get up to this. So we'll have to see if that happens. So of course we have to run 3D Mark 99 Max. It's kind of the go-to golden standard for benchmarking 90s hardware. So I went ahead and let this run 3 times, averaged out the results, and that should give us a good baseline. So another test that I ran was the CPU Mark 99. Got a score of 24.9. Okay, so one of the games I really like to play is Roller Coaster Tycoon. And you can see just how laggy it gets when you start having a really big park. So I decided I would use this as one of our tests, because a faster CPU should make it run faster. So I started it in the same spot and just tested to see how long it takes to scroll across the map. Just timed it till I got to the other side, and done. So it wouldn't be a 90s hardware benchmarking video without some Quake 2. So here I'm running the time demo. I'm gonna run it 3 times and get the averages for those. Okay, I'm running all these benchmarks because I do have an AMD K6-2 Plus CPU that I'm gonna swap into this machine, and I wanna see what our performance gains are after that. I also have this Intel Pentium MMX 233 that I plan to swap into it as well, just so we can kind of see how much better the K6-2 Plus is. And why not? It's a socket 7 CPU, and the K6-2 and K6-2 Plus are a super socket 7, but you can crank the front side bus down to 66 megahertz to make this thing work. Alright, that's our benchmarks. That should give us a pretty good baseline before we start swapping anything or changing CPUs. Let me know if there's any other benchmarks I should be doing or looking at. Feel like that gave us a pretty good round idea of the performance we're looking at. So stay tuned for the next one. Thanks for watching.